Peace and love, creatives. Today is a very different video than what I'm used to making. This is not an art video. I'm not going to be making art, but I am going to be talking about art supplies that I've used in 2024, that I've purchased in 2024, and how I felt about them. I'm also going to show you like some supplies firsthand. Most supplies are just going to be a picture in a box somewhere, and we'll go from there. First art supply that I'm going to talk about is the, oh, if I look down, I'm just looking at my phone because it has the art supplies in order so that I can keep some kind of like consistent condensed video for you. So the first art supply that we're going to talk about is the water brush for quick sketch. That's what it's called. It's an actual travel water brush set, and it comes with this, and it comes with a fountain pen. Like, this is what it comes with. And the like coolest thing about it, honestly, is that it is full length, number one. Let me get a, okay, so this is a Royal Nickel paintbrush that I purchased and haven't used yet, but it's pretty much the size of a paintbrush for the most part. And the best thing about this is it is a dual tip paintbrush. Isn't that crazy? So it has what seems like an 8 or a 10 and a 6 size brush. My only issue with this so far, and I've only used it maybe like once or twice so far because I just got it, but my only issue with it is like having to let it dry and it not having like an air hole on either side for the paintbrushes to dry and not have like moisture and mold maybe build up in it. That's my only complaint right now. I will try to see if I can try to like figure out how to make that happen. If not, it's kind of pointless as a travel brush set because you want to get up and go quickly when you're traveling, and this, unless I don't know, unless I can figure out how to get an air hole on this, I have to let it dry before I close it. So now, as far as the fountain pen, that I feel like is like an added, it's like a bonus. This is actually a good pen. I was reading the reviews on this product, and the complaint was mostly about this fountain pen. I found it to be perfectly fine. I had no issues with it. I'm gonna try to get the nib up there. So there's the nib. It kind of has like the little curve on there, and it works pretty fine. It's a bigger nib than I'm used to working with, but I think I do need to go bigger with my line work anyway when it comes to nibs. So this is, I like it. It works fine. There's no leaking. I filled it up, and I'll show you. I filled the ink well up, and that's how it looks. And when you take it out, that's how it looks. And it has a spring. I think this one has the spring. Yeah, it has a spring. I don't know if you can see the spring right there, but there is a spring that kind of alleviates, I guess, the air pressure and makes the flow, the ink flow a little bit better. I think that's what it is. I'm not like a professional. You know, I don't have the knowledge to let you know about how great or not great this pen is, but it is a, oh, it's heavier than some, but to be honest with you, usually the lighter ones are the less expensive ones. So it feels good. It feels like a very expensive piece of art supply. The next art supply that I'm going to talk about is some colored pencils that I'm gonna tell you right now, I bought it for the tin. The tin was so cute that I was like, if the pencils suck, I can still use the tin for like my watercolors, because I have a lot of watercolors from specific companies, and I can definitely put my watercolors in that tin. So I decided to purchase this 72 pencil set, 72 colors. There's no names on them, but they're pretty good. I mean, for 10 bucks, I paid 10 bucks. I will put up on the screen somewhere how much it is now, but I think it's still 10 bucks because I keep going back to it to see if the price has changed, and it hasn't. So that's a good thing. But for 10 bucks, there's no name on the pencils. The pencils are really pretty, as you can see in the picture. Like, they're not horrible pencils. So, I mean, for color enthusiasts, the pigment payout is there, and I like it. And for 10 bucks, you can't beat it. I don't think you could beat it. You know, got that one. I like it. And once I'm done with the pencils, the tin is going to house my watercolors. The next art supply that I'm going to talk about is more of paper than anything else. And I bought different styles, like sizes of this paper, but I'm only going to put one up because I feel like it's going to take more time than I need to explain this watercolor block. So I bought the Paul Rubens watercolor block, and the my initial thought was, if it sucks, then I can just either make a sketchbook out of it, or I can just do watercolor swatches on this book. So that was my thought going into it. But it was Paul Rubens 2-pack watercolor block. It is hard pressed, so there's like a really beautiful texture to it. I think some people don't really care for texture in their watercolor paper, but some people do. So if you like texture, then this paper is, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. So it's a watercolor block. That means it's glued all the way around to keep the paper nice and set while you're putting a whole bunch of water on it so it doesn't buckle. And then once you're done, you take a palette knife or a butter knife or a blade, and you just kind of like go around it, and you have super flat paper to either sell, to put up on a frame, and you don't have to worry about it being all bendy, because sometimes that happens with watercolor paper. That one I love. I'm almost actually, do I have it? No, I don't. I have only a couple of pages left on one block already, and looking forward to using it on plenty of blocks. I've used it in videos on my channel. I don't know if I'm going to put cards up, you know, like the little cards, but maybe I'll put it down in the description, like the different videos that have some of the art supplies that I'm talking about here. Don't hold me to it, but if you do ask me in a comment, I can let you know what videos I use it in if I forget to do it. Okay. All right. Next art supply is the Sharpie brush paint pens. The brush paint pens are like, it's all over YouTube right now. It's really big, and for good reason. They're really, really nice and fun to use. There's no pumping, because the style of the nib of the pen being a paintbrush, you don't have as much pilling as you would using a traditional nib, you know, like the Poscas and such. So they're definitely trending, and it's a good reason why, because they're really good. My pros for this, for these markers is they have a nice firm tip that will give you a sharper line than any pen that I've tried so far on my channel. With that being said, there's no colors. Like, it's a limited amount of colors, and that's it, you're done. I think it's going to be a little bit tricky trying to get different colors other than what is available. All right, so the next art supply that I'm going to talk about is they're just cute little washi tape square stickers that I use for my bullet journal. I also shared it with my Patreons on last month's goodies, and I love them. they're fun to use. They're super thin. They're like washi tape style, but you can put it on your, with your art, you can put it with your bullet journal, and that's what I use it for. I like it. And they were like super cheap. So fun, yes. Next thing is create this book too. I've seen Chantel use create this book too. I know that there's one going around with a lot of different artists in it, and even Mariah Elizabeth has promoted the fact that her book is going around with a whole bunch of different artists on YouTube. So I bought a Create This Book too, and I'm curious to do it. I don't know if I'm going to just do it on my own or if I'll do it with you on a video. I was toying with the idea of kind of like doing it the way Mariah does it, when she kind of like, how many pages can I get done in a video kind of thing. It just seems like fun, but you know, sometimes what seems like fun might be stressful. So we'll see if that happens. If it does, it's probably going to be in January. It's not going to be anytime soon. So the next purchase was a UV light, and the UV light will make sense after a couple of other pieces go by. I did purchase these Caran d'Ache Fluo fluorescent pencils. They're like big boys. Here's like a regular size pencil, and here's like their pencil. So they're humongous. They're so fun to use. I'm having a blast with them. They're not archival or anything like that. They were just fun. I didn't purchase those on Amazon. I purchased those on Blick, and yeah, I like them. I'm having fun with them. I bought the fluorescent, the UV light to shine the light on my fluorescent illustrations just to see and have fun. I also purchased a invisible ink that uses UV light to show what you did in the either illustration or like writing or stuff like that. So having fun with that. It's definitely like a fun supply, and you know, that's what I do. I like having fun and playing with different supplies and learning about them. My next art supply that I purchased was something called Matte Medium from Liquitex, and basically it's like if you have acrylic paint, it's just to make your paint a matte finish instead of that glossy finish. That's all it does. I bought it because I have acrylic paint that I don't use because I'm not big on the shine that acrylic paint gives. Eventually, I'm sure I'll get over it. I am a new artist, so I'm just learning how to appreciate and use all of the art supplies that I have at my fingertips. And for now, I haven't actually used the matte medium because I don't want to use acrylic paints, but I need to use them or sell them. I need to either use it or get rid of it. So I bought this matte medium thinking that if I can use the matte medium to make the supply something that I want to play with, then it's worth the purchase. So the next, the art supplies that I purchased was Massachusetts ink from Noodlers and the invisible ink from Noodlers, and I love them. That Massachusetts ink comes filled to the brim, and the ink is, once dry, it is there, it's permanent, and you can draw paint over it, and I love it. I love the ink. I love the invisible ink. It's the cutest thing ever. It's fun to play with, and I'm never gonna not play with it. I have ideas that I want to do, like as far as like spooky illustrations, but I haven't gotten to it, and I'll probably end up not getting to it, but at least, you know, I have it for the future. The next thing I bought was the Potter's Pink from Winsor & Newton. I like Potter's Pink. I think it's a really beautiful color. I love how it granulates, and I was just curious how the Winsor & Newton would fare. This was purchased with points, so it was just like, I added it on. I was curious, and why not? The next thing I purchased, I think they're back to back, so I'll talk about both of them, were palettes. The MEEDEN palette I got so that I can have a nice at-home palette to put paints to dry and then just play with them. And the other one, I thought it was bigger than it really is, which was like a bummer because like the little areas where you put the paint to like mix and all that stuff was not as big as I thought it was. I'm still using it, I'm still playing with it, but I just thought it was bigger. That's my only complaint with that one. I just wish it was just a little bit bigger because it's like maybe 4x6. Now I bought these water brushes to kind of like play with the idea of making my own water paintbrush pens. And I have a lot of I have a lot of acrylic gouache from a company called Valero. They put their really big, humongous acrylic gouache paints on clearance, and I just like purchased as many as I could at the moment. So I plan on filling those with acrylic paint and playing with that. I haven't done it yet, but that's my goal. So the next thing on the list, hold on, let me just make sure. Yeah, so the wooden boxes basically are to store my pencils in a little bit of a better setting. Hopefully it works. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure out how to store my pencils. I really do like them in my recycled Bath and Body Works candle glass jars, but at the moment it just doesn't fit in my space. Now the Muji pencil, yeah, the Muji pencils are great. It's just magical. It's a like the actual like lead that's in the pencil. What size is it? I don't remember. I think it's like a 3. Oh my God, I love the lead in this pencil. It's so soft and fun. The pencils just, I love it. You know how you have that one thing, that one pencil that you just love using? I love it. I ended up purchasing this on Amazon. I actually purchased it at the Muji store, but I purchased it on Amazon because I misplaced my Muji pencil when I was traveling, and I was distraught. I was so upset with myself because I'm not that person that loses things, and I misplaced it. So it was very irresponsible of me, and I was about to treat myself like I treat my kids, like, nope, you lost it, you can't have it, figure it out, can't have it. But then I have points. So I just spent my points on it, and yeah, I did. All right, next thing I purchased was these containers, and I purchased them for masking purposes and doing like putting masking fluid on my watercolor paper. I can't find my masking fluid, and I bought a big container of it. So when I find it, I will let you know how these little containers work as far as like the details. Like that's why I purchased them, because they have like those pointy little syringes, and I think that I'll be able to get a nice accurate line or whatever I need with it. Next thing I purchased was Arches watercolor paper. I don't think I need to say anything about this watercolor paper. It is great. It's a pad though, it's not the block, so it's a lot less expensive. I think I usually pay around 18 to 20 bucks for 20 sheets of this kind of paper. I've made a sketchbook with this paper, and I just use the paper to either swatch or make some art with, and I love it. Next thing are the Lyra water-soluble crayons. I do like these, but to be honest with you, I purchased them out of curiosity and to see if I liked them better than the Caran d'Ache water-soluble crayons, and I don't. I actually prefer the Caran d'Ache just because they're a little bit more pigmented. These are the leads. As far as the Muji pencil is concerned, it came with how many? A pack of 4. So I had to get some more, get my pencil back so that I can use up these leads, right? And then I purchased the Anglais, what is this? Acrylic finisher, because my son wanted me to do something on his sneakers, which I haven't done because I suck. But I don't know. I will eventually use this leather paint because I bought the paint and the finisher. I bought it all. So, wish me luck that I can actually do it and not feel like I'm unable to. So, and then these are the Sumi inks by Kisho, and they're amazing. I made a video on them. I made some art for my patrons with them. They smell beautiful. They work beautiful. You can use them with a heavy payload. You can use them like watercolors. They're gorgeous. I love them. I have no complaints about them. They're my favorite right now. I bought these Paul Rubens watercolor tubes, specifically because Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, let the community know that it was like on a super sale. It was basically buy one, get one free. I don't know anything about them. I have not used them yet, but I am looking forward to using them. But how do you not purchase something and get, you know, like if they're good paints, and I like Paul Rubens, I think they're going to be good. Why not? So I got that, and maybe somebody will end up getting a free paint set because that's what I do sometimes. And then this book here I purchased because King Jung-ji had died. I probably butchered his name. He passed away, I think a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And unfortunately, that's how I found out about him and his art. I really love his art. It's crazy. It's like all over the place, and I failed to do art like that. So I just wanted to get inspiration from him and the other creator in the book, and I ended up purchasing this book with my points. This is more washi tape sticker kind of stuff that I use for my bullet journal, which I have definitely sidelined this year, which, you know, sometimes we have to pick and choose what we're going to dedicate our time to. And I've decided to figure out something else for my time management for this year. These are the granulating colors from Kuretake. They are also, you can put them under the UV light and they do some crazy funky stuff. They're fun to use. They're not artist archival or anything like that. You can't put them up and think they're not going to fade. They're just for pure fun and just being curious and making fun art. And I'm okay with that. I went on a little hunt for titanium, buff titanium, because I really like that color. And it come to find out that I like the color of titanium buff for some companies and not all companies. But I really wanted to try them out because some titanium buff granulates so beautifully that I just wanted to see which would be my favorite. And then, you know, I'll go from there. But I bought a whole bunch of different tubes. This one just so happened to be available on Amazon. I love India ink, and the Speedball India ink was on super sale, and I said, yep, I'm getting it. And I'll use that until it gets empty. Absolutely, 100%. It's great, inexpensive, and it does the job. This actually, I bought this palette for the actual palette itself, and like the container that it comes in, and not the tray or the the both trays. I took them out and I just put my Roman Schmal watercolors in there because it's huge, and it fits all of those watercolors that I own in one. Like I get to have it in one spot, so that's why I purchased that, and it's working fine. It's airtight. It keeps everything nice and organized. I really love White Nights. White Nights and Roman Schmal are very similar watercolor paints, in my opinion. So if I see a White Night paint that I'm curious about, I end up putting it on my wish list and waiting for some points to accumulate for me to purchase. So that's what I did with these. And I love them. They're great. No complaints. Another thing that I had on my wish list for years, just it's ink by Selenier, and I like Selenier. I say it wrong all the time, I'm sorry. Selenier. I love Selenier just because it just seems like it's fancy, and I purchased them because I wanted some fancy inks. That's it. I haven't used them. I haven't played with them. This mushroom book has been a joy to flip through and draw different mushrooms with them. My my goal, my end goal for me having this book was to make a really nice size poster of different mushrooms that I like and I thought were interesting, and then just hang it up, make a frame, like frame it, you know. Haven't done it yet, but I'll get there. And here's some more Paul Rubens watercolor paper. I actually bought both styles of this paper. One was supposed to be hard press, one was supposed to be hot press, cold press. I like them. They're good. I have no complaints about them. But once I saw that water block, because I had gotten these first and then I saw the water block. But you know, the fact that I don't have to worry about my paper being taped down or buckling because it's in a block, it's really nice. So that's my only issue with this. I have to tape it down. This is more Paul Rubens watercolor paper. I don't think you can go wrong with Paul Rubens watercolor paper. I'm really close to purchasing like an acid test, excuse me, an acid tester, just to see if the paper is worth using in a professional setting or if it's not. So I have one on my wish list. I haven't purchased it yet, but if I do, I'll keep you posted about the acidity in these Paul Rubens watercolor papers. Acrylic gouache. I bought a big tube of white because I like gouache and acrylic gouache, and you need white. Yeah, that's it. That's the reason why I bought it. I love Holbein, and they're a great company. I love their gouache. No complaints. I made a video with these golden zing flat acrylic inks. They're basically acrylic gouache. They're flat, so there's no shine to it. It's basically has matte medium. They're in these cute little containers. I'm a sucker for that. I was curious. I wanted to see how they worked, and they work really well. Oh, hold on. Ooh. Okay, so this is the bunny that I made with that paint, and it, as you can see, there's no shine. It's very a matte finish. I didn't put any finishing on it, like you know, to seal it. I didn't put any sealer on it, so it's not sealed. But look at how cute it came out. It's cute. Deleter. I purchased this and I've never used it. I don't know what to tell you. Never used it. I'll let you know when I do use it. You can never have too much white to like make, I don't know. Sometimes you buy things to see if it's better than the thing you already have. And that's basically what I bought it for. And this sketchbook is like, I was curious about it. I don't think it's for me, to be honest with you. The paper's pretty thin. So I bought it out of curiosity and I have not used it because the paper's thin, but I don't know, maybe I'll end up putting it in a box and making like a mystery box with it. This is Shinhan Professional Designer Gouache. I ended up purchasing it because it was like on a super sale and I had super points, and I was like, okay, we're getting it. And I haven't used it yet because, as you probably maybe know, or maybe you don't, I have a lot of gouache. And it's not in line yet to go. So once I'm ready to use it, I'll use it. My Mary Blue. Oh, I love these paints. I really had fun using them. I just didn't appreciate the way it came to me from Amazon. Like, it was like exploded. And then when I complained about the set having some exploded paint tubes, their response was, their response was for me to mail it back on my dime so that they can mail me back more paint. And I was like, nah, I'll just keep it. It is what it is. I bought this palette because Scott uses it on his channel, and I love his art. I love the way he works, and I think it would work well for me once I end up having my space a little bit more organized. I plan on putting some gouache in it and just having it there for me to use. This sketchbook is my favorite sketchbook in the whole entire world. It's one of my go-to travel sketchbooks. It's made by Arteza. I know they have some questionable sketchbooks, but this one is just for me. I love it. I love the thickness of the paper. It's just perfect for watercolor. I've used it for alcohol markers, but just be aware that it's gonna suck up the ink from your alcohol marker. So be ready for that if you do use it for that. I bought this botanical Bible because I did 26 days and 26 flowers last year in September. And although I had a lot of fun with it and I found a lot of images online that I liked, I just wanted something tangible. And I wanted something that had a lot more flowers and I can just flip through it and like, oh, I like this. I want to try to recreate it. Yeah, so that's why I got that. The Kuretake Sig Fude Gochi pens. I think I said that right. I don't know. Okay, I have them. I haven't used them. I've turned them into my precious, I think, and I don't know if I'm going to use them, but they are in my travel. They are here somewhere. They're in my travel bag. I just haven't used them. I just haven't. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you know how I like them. Puppy, stop. Stop it. Oh, okay. Rosie's here with me now. Okay, let's go back. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the kisses. My baby. My baby. My baby. Daisy's she's looking to come up too. I can't hold the both of you. I don't have 4 arms. I just can't do it, Daisy. I just can't do it. And Rosie beat you to it. Oh, I rhymed. Okay, these paintbrushes are super thin and beautiful. And I'm not gonna lie, I have not used them yet because they're gorgeous. So I don't know if they're good or not because I just have them as like a visual piece than anything else. Yep, they weren't expensive, but that's why I got them. Maybe I'll use them one day. I just don't want to ruin them. I know. This is like my worst purchase ever. This was the first thing I purchased before I bought that botanical Bible, and this is basically like it was photocopied and not even photocopied good. Like it was just really, really bad. I returned it and I did not want anything to do with this book. It was just really bad, poorly made, disappointing. And we're done. I made it, yay. We're done, yay. So those are all my purchases from January 2024 till now. Well, actually from now until January 2024, because I did it like in reverse because that's how I do things apparently. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a lot of talking and a lot of supplies to go through. But I don't know, I feel like instead of me holding on to the fantasy that I'm gonna make a review or a video with some of these supplies, I can just show you what I've purchased in the past. And if you have any questions, even if it's like 2 years from now, if you have any questions for me or you want me to showcase it in a video, you can just pop in a request and I'll do it. You know what I mean? So there's that. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I said that already. And have a great rest of your day, night, afternoon, whatever time it is in your while you're watching this. And I'll see you in the next one where you'll see me. Peace and love. Wait, say goodbye. Say goodbye. Bye bye.